want to do something a little different this time. What's up, man?
Hello.
All right, let's get into it. Definitely, man. Let's get into it, man. We're gonna do we're gonna talk about Hecate on this episode right here. Actually, I want to know how you started working with her, and actually, how did you go about it?
Okay, man, she goes back to the beginning, but I didn't really work with her in the beginning. I was looking for a deity to actually work with because I was having like a lot of parasites coming after me and stuff, and then
Mm-hmm.
somebody suggested that I should find like some an entity to work with in order to help me out to get me
Okay.
started. So when I was doing research of the different gods, I came upon Hecate and I was like, oh, she's the goddess of witches. Like perfect, right?
Yeah.
But when I tapped into her energy, I think I asked her for something mundane, just to see if it would work because back during that time, there was a lot of experimentation and I did not understand what magic was really for. Like, I wasn't really in it for spiritual evolution per se. I
Mm-hmm.
was I was still building the foundation, and she choked me. Like, she choked me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought I was gonna die, literally. And
Mm-hmm.
just when I thought like I couldn't breathe anymore, like she let go, and whatever I asked for, I ended up getting, which is crazy. But after that experience, I was like, never again will I work with the kate.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing with magic is never say never because as soon as you say never, the magic is going to have you working with what you said you're not going to be working with.
Mm-hmm.
But it took years. So, um, like years later, I ended up going to a place called Iron Garden, and it's basically a community here where I live at, where you have witches and vampires and different practitioners and things like that that come together and they educate each other on like their cultures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And um, I got in good with this witch who works with Akate. So she
Mm-hmm.
recommended a book. She recommended Queen of Hell by Mark Allen Smith. And she was like, from having conversations with her, she was like, I think you can handle it. So um, I ended up buying the book, and actually, I had the PDF, but I didn't want to work off the PDF because I hate that. Like I like working out of the books, and my book was taking time to come in. So I saw another one. Well, what happened was I wanted to start working with Hecate immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So I told Hecate, I said, if you want me to start working with you sooner, because I don't want to work with the PDF. Like um it feels disrespectful. I wanted to actually have the book. So I asked Hecate, I said, if you want me to work with you earlier than when the book that I bought was going to come in, give me a sign. So that same book went on sale on eBay, and I ended up buying the book, so it came in earlier, and that's when I started working with Hecate.
Okay. As far as like what is her image as she present herself to you? Like, what is her image?
She has a couple of forms. Um, Actually, I had trouble seeing her in a humanoid form because my mind had trouble wrapping around trying to make her into a human form because I knew that the deities are more than human. And at the
Mm-hmm.
time, it felt like putting them in a humanoid form was kind of like trying to um, take away from what they really were. So I ended up doing a shamanic journey using mushrooms, and I got her permission. I said, "Look, I just um, and just as a disclaimer, like I recommend that people work with their own power and not necessarily go for um, hallucinogens like right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I did do that, and I got her permission. She gave me the green light. When
Mm-hmm.
I did that, she showed me like these forms. Like she came as a planet, a living planet, to show me her celestial side. When she showed me her, because she's a goddess of the sky, the sea, and the earth. Okay, so she showed me her celestial side. Then she showed me her sea version, where she was like this squid,
Mm-hmm.
and her tentacles filled up the whole ocean. Like there was no part of the ocean that she did not touch.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's that's probably that was the Titan form. Like, you
I
know.
mean, she's always a titan. Like
Okay.
there's no not being a titan. She's a primal energy. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's old. Not in a
Mm-hmm.
bad way, because you don't want to call a woman old.
Oh, you
But
did.
she's just a very ancient energy. Um, and uh, so like when she was showing me the watery form, like her tentacles were wrapping around me, but they were kind of like cradling me.
Like a
Um,
baby.
yeah. And
Uh-huh.
then with her chthonic form, which is her earthly form, she finally did come as um, a human, in human form, and she was wearing like this black dress, and she had like a headpiece that was like long. It was kind of like uh, almost like a bishop hat, except it was black, and it had like
Mm-hmm.
a veil over, like that went back, and her dress was like it was kind of like made out of shadows. Like part of it looked like it was made out of regular fabric, but like towards the
Mm-hmm.
end it moved kind of weird and stuff. And she had pale skin, and uh she looked like possibly middle age. It's very hard to tell how old she is, but she looked very regal, very queen like. She does
Mm-hmm.
not blink.
Queen light.
Yeah, she didn't blink when she talks to me. She didn't blink when she looks at me. It was a little bit creepy. But she also has another form where she came in as a
Mm-hmm.
giant black woman in a red dress.
Mm.
And
And another go ahead. Go
I,
ahead, finish up.
I,
What
I
black dress?
couldn't, it was like her face was constantly shifting. So I couldn't like tell you
Mm.
features. Like it was just like her skin color, the color of her dress, and the fact that she was just like huge. And those are the forms that she's come to me in.
Mm. I'm gonna tell you another thing, man. I'm gonna show you something, man. Cause they've been putting her in movies for a while and people didn't recognize it. Um, Let me go to my share screen. Um, I'm gonna show you a
I know
picture.
she's been in
Uh,
Hellboy.
Yeah, she definitely have. Uh huh. Let's hide that. Okay, I'm gonna go here. Okay, you remember the movie called The Queen of the Dam?
Yep.
Okay, you see that head? Let me find a. It's another picture that I was looking for. This one right here. Okay, okay. It was another one where she was standing by the monument or whatever. It was just like, brick. But that's the figure they actually the Queen of the Dam supposed to be the Queen of Hell, right? So in this movie, they had actually put a Leah wearing the same head of tear on her body, right? And she was like, they told her she was like the queen of like all the vampiric, right? And vampiric represent what? Darkness, right? It's the same thing they was talking about. So the queen of hell, like that's exactly what they called her in the movie. And I find that kind of like resemble what they were saying in that whole segment. It's crazy.
They also had they featured Hecate in Sandman, the Sandman series as well.
Same as this.
Hmm.
I was trying to think of that movie. Was it Silent Hill? No, it wasn't Silent Hill. It wasn't Silent Hill. It was another movie that I'm trying to figure that movie out. We were looking at. I'm trying to figure out that movie. It's a movie that we was looking at. The one where the guy was dressed up as the nun. Remember the nun and he had the black dress on and stuff like that. I'm trying to figure out what movie that was, but that's the same movie, and they
Are you
labeled
talking
that
about The
movie right there.
Conjuring?
I think it was The Conjuring. Yeah, I think it was The Conjuring.
That
I think that
that
was.
was Valak. Valak
Oh,
was
it
the
was
spirit.
okay.
They were, yeah,
Oh, okay. So that was valid. Okay, that makes sense. That
yeah.
makes hella sense. But do she come as a black woman to you? Does she look like a black woman to you?
She has, like I
No,
said, the giant form of
no,
her has, but like
yeah.
she also comes as a pale woman as well, and
When you
like
say
the
giant, you mean like 12 feet tall or just
no,
giant?
I mean like it's bigger than a mountain. Like she's big. Like
That Titan form, yeah, that's that the forms they were talking about the Elohims and stuff like that, how them forms was. Um the the higher tier Elohims. They was talking about that in like this book I was reading. I'm trying to figure out it's a book I was reading about it's some Titan. It's a Titan book that was in Amazon. I was reading a while back, but it actually saying the same exact thing. How everything used to be giant, like back then, before the eagle and the change of the direction of the planet went
yeah,
planetary
where like the
system.
trees were big and like plants were super big and stuff like that.
The Kevlar the system was in effect, and it was talking about how the crystals and the shears got broken and stuff like that over different eagles and um not putting away your different like people not putting away their feelings and not people not loving each other, and that's how everything came to a lower standstill. Yeah.
Yeah.
So any other thing that she like provided you with or gave you any upgrades or whatever?
Well, I mean, Akate is just kind of she was she is mother like
Mm-hmm.
when first dealing with her, I was in that mindset of can I mate with it, you know what I'm saying? But like she came off as a motherly being, so it was like nah, like that's not the type of relationship I was going to have with her. It wasn't going to be like a sexual or one where she's a lover. um
Mm-hmm.
and she gives you wisdom, but it's kind of like she's one of those deities, and this is how you know she's a true god. She does not ask you for worship. Like she does not ask you for any kind of like sacrifice or anything. Like she wants you to just develop yourself, and when you get to a certain point where you know stuff, she's like don't keep asking me for stuff. Like go and do something. You know what I'm saying? Um and even though like sometimes she'll just kick you out to play, so to speak, like if you do come to her, she'll still give you guidance. um She can teach you about vampirism. She can teach you about like the nature of reality. She can help you find um, different deities that will be better to teach you if she is more intense, if she's too intense for you. Um, she can teach you about necromancy. She can actually, like when I was having trouble tapping into the angelic um, entities, like she helped me with that, where she would mediate those meetings because, like, there was a time when I had beef, so to speak, with angels because like they were kind of coming at me crazy. So I
Weird,
called upon
weird.
Hecate. Yeah, I guess weird, but it was just like they just weren't friendly, and so
Yeah.
when I called upon Hecate and then called on them through Hecate, like then the meetings were much better. They were more peaceful. Like they didn't feel aggressive or kind of like they didn't feel elitist or snooty. Um, where they're like where they act condescending and stuff like that. So she's a very good deity to work with. She's good for a lot of things. Um, I've actually worked with her in concert with Lilith. Um, I've worked with her and Lucifer. Um, I've worked with her and Belial,
Hmm.
and those are usually the three that are depicted as the main three within that system that Mark Allen Smith created. So it works very well because, according to what Lucifer was telling me, it's kind of like if you compare the three to the body. Um, Hecate would kind of be like the brain. Lucifer would be like the electrical impulses that transfer the information from the brain to the body, and Belial would be like the body. Um, and so, by working with those three entities, you have a mastery of yourself, and you can create an understanding of yourself. Um, so that's also another application that you can use when you're working with Hecate.
What is her dislikes? What's her biggest dislikes? For like following rules.
Oh, I mean, it
I
all
know
depends.
everybody got it.
She does not like, I know, like, she does not like you relying on substances in order to contact her.
Or
So,
like shrooms and um different
weed. Let's
elixirs.
let's say no, like marijuana. Um,
Yeah.
there's times when like some people get caught up where marijuana can put you in a state where it's easier to receive information from certain frequencies. But like I said, Hecate is one of those entities that wants you to rely on your own power. And so if you're caught using, like relying too much on
Hmm.
any substance in order to contact her or do magic, then she'll get a little annoyed with you.
So I know. Do she got her own like people that surround her? Like what I'm saying, her you know guardians and most of them have guardians and different key players they go to. Like certain angels will come to her that she will work
Uh,
with.
well, I mean, like for the most part, she does keep to herself, but there's a lot of information that says that she likes black dogs, and some of those black dogs were, if you read the lore, they were people who were turned into black dogs. And they also say that the spirits of the dead follow her around.
Mm. Is it a certain like a scent when she come in the room when you notice?
Not as far as I know.
Okay. What's like the special like purpose that you use for like you know what I'm saying, like conjuring, like you know what I'm saying, like you use any like elixirs or something they like truly keen to
Um,
rose water.
when it came to contacting her, I did use a lot of rose incense. She seems to like that.
Yeah, I was reading up on that about the rose incense and stuff. Um, it also said that when she's in the room, it smell like roses, and when she leave out the room, it smell like it's a certain type of flower. I forgot what the name of it, but it have a distinctive like scent.
Mm.
But somebody, it had to be somebody that has a pure hearted. It had to be very pure energy, like far as like the room, um, the mindset, everything. It cannot be no type of negative whatsoever. It have to be less extremities of negative, because the negative it mess up the concept of you pulling and channeling certain energy. So when you're channeling that certain energy, you want to be like very pure, so to speak, very pure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it like how you are on the inside determines the message that you get and how it comes through. You know,
Hmm.
so that message can be corrupted. So you always want to, like, when you go into magical ritual, you always want to leave everything that happened to you during the day at the door. You always want to have like a clear mind, a calm mind, um, and you always want to have a positive intention um, set for when you connect with whatever energy you're trying to connect to.
Hmm.
So, you know, that's for any deity that is considered dark. That's a very good way to connect with them, because, like, usually people feel they equate darkness with evil, and that's not so. But if you have that mindset, then you're not going to have a good time when you connect with those energies. And honestly, if you're trying to connect with an energy and you're thinking that it's evil, you're stupid. Like, because you can't go and ask him for help and then, thinking that, what you're asking for help is evil. That's
You gotta
that's
stand
not
your
going to work
guard.
out.
You gotta stand your ground, kind of like stay in your peer, and it won't have no effect over you. That's the way
Well,
I see
I mean, yeah, you do have to stand your guard, and yeah, like, some entities will test you, but that doesn't necessarily make them evil.
it.
You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And there have been a lot of entities that I've contacted that were described as evil, even in the the grimoires that were like, yeah, demons are good, demons are great, like, they're not all bad and stuff like that. But they would be like, but this one right here is evil, and then I would go talk to it with a positive mindset, and
Hmm.
then the entity would be like, hey, what's up, how's it going, and would be cordial, and there'd be no problem, and it wouldn't say anything, you know, it wouldn't say anything crazy or do anything crazy. We would just have a conversation. That'd be it.
Hmm. I was going to ask, why do she hold why do she hold the title of the queen? Why she hold
Because
that title?
one, uh, Zeus does not mess with her. Zeus allowed her to, well, didn't allow, I wouldn't say allow, but, Zeus appointed uh, space for her, her kingdom, in the sky, in the sea, as well as on the earth. She
Hmm.
has her own kingdom in quote unquote hell. She has
Hmm.
her own kingdom in the sea. She has her own kingdom in the sky. Uh, so she's a queen. Not only that, but she carries herself like a queen. Like she comes with that kind of energy, where it's just like you love her. When she speaks, you listen to what she has to say, and then you do what she has to say. Like there are multiple entities that straighten up and they act right when she comes in their presence. They don't
Mm.
mess with Hecate. She's not one to mess with. That's why she's the queen.
What's the relationship with her and Zeus? It's like an
I'm
old
not
flame.
really sure.
Is it an
No,
old
no,
flame or is it that's a like sisterly love or something?
no. Like the gods are like the children of the Titans. So I
Got
don't know if she's like a great aunt or if like I'm not really sure according to the lore how she's related to Zeus, but she is his elder.
Gotcha. So it might be a generation before him, like so she
Well,
might be like your generation over him, like you know what I'm saying? Because he might be
there
like
are
an auntie or
multiple
something.
generations of Titans before the gods even came, so I don't even know what like generation Titan Hecate is. So,
Hmm.
and she predates the Greek gods because uh, a lot of the Greek gods came from the Egyptian gods. They were transferred over and given different names. And Heka, which is the first part of Hecate's name, was the
Hmm.
earlier version of Hecate. And um, so like she's one of the elders. She's That's how I would say that. She's elder to Zeus.
Mm. Um, how do she feel about humans? And has she ever did she ever experience human life on Earth as well? I always bring that up because a lot of them came here before us.
Um I wouldn't be able to say if she was ever in a human form. Um her energy is very
Chaotic.
big. No, I wouldn't say chaotic, but it's just like there's a lot of energy there, and there are certain entities that I just feel like are way too big in order to take human form. Like, and sometimes they have certain jobs where they don't have the time to take human form.
She
Um,
has the energy like Leah what's the dragon? You know what I'm talking about? Lee Leviathan. I can't even speak.
Leviathan,
Yeah,
Leviathan.
Leviathan. Yeah, I
Um,
was trying to get the name out. Is it something like an energy like that? Because this energy is very overwhelming. Like it's like deep, like it's almost like deep sea type of energy. You know what I'm saying?
well, being
Like
as
some,
how she's more than the sea, it would be bigger than that.
mm-hmm,
It'd be bigger than that. And
ocean depths.
I think that the way she is, where when interacting with her, there were times when I felt that she thought I was slow in the head. Um, she would,
Wow,
she would not. Uh, I don't think that she would even uh,
that's
think
crazy,
about
bro.
turning into a human being. You know what I'm
That's
saying? Where
but the craziest thing. They just sit back like look at us like, is you retarded? Is you stupid? Cause they so high on their energy and stuff, and they know stuff way beyond us. I mean, they gotta cut us a break, man. We in human form, and it took all our DNA memories, so we can't really remember shit. So
well, I mean, she never said it out loud, but it's just kind of like sometimes like when somebody looks at you and like how they feel is on their face. Like
Slow.
sometimes it's just like
You slow.
where she just like shakes her head where it's like, yo, like,
That's wild.
you know, um but it's all
That's
in love. Like she always comes off as like loving. She's like a strict mom. That's how I
that's
feel like
something.
she is.
That's something a mother would say to her son. You slow. Shit. God, man, that's crazy. That's wild, man. That's wild, bro. Oh man. But she do present herself as like an elderly lady in her 60s. I'm say like 70s somewhere like that, or it's like a 35-year-old lady.
No, I'd say like middle age. She comes off as
Yeah.
middle age.
Yeah. Cause every time when I was looking up research on her, I kept seeing that the Queen of Damn picture kept coming up with like when you bring up a Hecate. When you do a Google search, it's gonna come up right in, and you're seeing the feed. Like, why is they doing that? So, the Queen of Damn, the Queen of, you know what I'm saying, and it
Yeah.
all fits together. Like, and stabilize what they're saying. Like, they tell you right in front of your face, but you don't know they really telling you in so many ways. But it's
Right.
crazy though. So, a little bit elaborate on your book that you got coming out, man. Got to let people know about that book, that new angelic book that you have, the one you writing about.
All right. So basically, I've been working on the book for a little bit now. I've been doing work with the angels, and the book is going to be titled "God is Gray." Um, it's a book that covers my interactions with the angels, like my conversations, and also how to get in touch with the angels that I did contact with. There's some ceremonial magic in there. There are some meditations in there. There's also some simple rituals in there to help people contact these different energies because they, like, you can't contact them all the same way. Uh, so there are the regular angels, which are like, we'll call them the holy angels, but there's also the fallen included. There are angelic beings that are not documented. Um, I have uh, information where I contacted Yeshua, um, and there's just like a information on just the way heaven is, information on the way angels are, because and it's not censoring and not holding back, because like a lot of um, gurus and spiritual people, they portray angels as all love and light and huggy, and like they care, but like a lot of the angels that, I would say like 9 out of 10 angels that you come in contact with are going to be soldiers. And
Mm-hmm.
so soldiers are not cuddly, they're not always friendly. Like they're on some, if they got a goal, they got to take something out, like they're killers. You know what I'm saying? And not necessarily saying that the angels are bad, but like they can be aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, there is truth about like how heaven really is. Like sometimes there are some places where it's scary. There's a lot of uh, bases with soldiers in certain parts of heaven. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like it can be a beautiful place in some places, but like there's uh, like they're not playing around up there. Um, and like righteousness, one thing I need to stress: righteousness is a big goes a long way, because if you are not meant to deal with heaven, like heaven is going to come after you. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? If you misuse those energies, if you try to go where you're not supposed to be, if you're not genuine about seeking wisdom and learning from them and spiritually evolving, they come for your neck.
Mm-hmm.
There's no playing around. Like it's not a game. Like I tell people, you know, if it came down to it, I would rather fight a demon than an angel because it's that serious.
Dang,
You know.
that's drop the mic. Wow. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot of churches still using the scare tactics on people, like far as like the angels and demons still having this big war, and still in their minds they don't really presume that way or see it that way. Only thing they see is the dollar sign and telling people the wrong misinformation because in the spiritual community it's always like this one side. Then the other side be
Mm,
like um try to steer the sheep in the barn and keep them in the barn with the fence up. And you know the farmer always keep the gun locked and loaded so he don't want his sheep getting out. That's the way the church is doing them. You know what I'm saying? As far as like the information, the knowledge that's presented to the people. You know what I'm saying? Because if people do the research and do the time to like meditate and understand certain parts of them, they can understand it fully, the fully like spiritual aspects of, you know what I'm saying, learning that energy. You feel me?
right. And a lot of people don't understand that uh, when you work with the darkness, which is what I started out with, it's
Mm-hmm.
easier to see the light. The spirits that I worked with, people think that demons are evil, but demons actually pushed me towards love and unity. And with Lilith, she actually said, "Hey, like once you're done working through the darkness, like with the cliff off as an
Yeah, to
example,
work with the light. The
yeah,
light is
go
yeah.
work with the angels." She said you had connections in heaven to like maintain and stuff like that. So, you know, they do work in concert. Like the only time that you have any beef is if you have certain entities in positions that work opposite of each other because of like forces. Like let's say you have a chaotic force and an orderly force. Well, if you have one trying to create order and you have one trying to create chaos, then there's going to be some friction. But um, that's just to maintain universal balance. You know,
Okay.
there's not
So
necessarily like a war going on, and sometimes that war that is uh, portrayed, that war is going on inside of us.
yeah,
Okay,
it is the ego
that's that's
dealing with
that's
emotions.
that's something that we have to deal with. That's not necessarily something that cosmic war going on and demons
Mm-hmm.
versus angels and heaven versus hell and stuff like that. No. So,
I know what a misconception is too, because I had to meditate on this too, in the sun, because like once you is done with light or dark, either way you go. I mean, if you start with dark, the light, the dark. After that is exoteric.
mm,
Exoteric is like the next step to like evolution of learning the next criteria of energies. And I saw that. Then I was trying to like, cause it's so many steps. It's so much stuff that we don't even know about. Just like it's like cosmic. There's cosmic spiritual side too. It's another evolution. It like, but like that, like Thoth was saying like this. There's so much knowledge that we haven't even learned yet. We ain't even broke into like um the next tier of learning those kind of suits. You know what I'm saying?
oh yeah,
Like the light and dark, it don't even stop there. You know what I'm saying? It don't never stop there. because the exoterian side and people don't even know about. That's dealing with the Draco energy and stuff like that. That's dealing with the different galactic beings. You know what I'm saying? So exoterian is totally different, and that's dealing with like telepathically and light codes and stuff like that.
Yeah, like people have trouble dealing with concepts of duality and then coming to an understanding that there is no duality, like coming to an understanding of non-duality. And so they always have to human beings always have to think in terms of light, dark, good, bad, male, female. And um as long as you're stuck on that, like there's
You'll
not
never,
really going to be too much spiritual growth.
yeah, you're not gonna get nowhere. It's gonna be going in a circle. You're looping yourself right back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did seeing that as far as like the dealing with different energies, like when everything you learn in the dark, you learn exact. I'm talking about everything. That's when they, like you were saying, they stop teaching you until you go to the next evolution, which would be light. Learning
Mm.
everything in the light district, like you learn everything, like you learn everything from the knowledge, the wisdom, whatever, the magic, everything. Then it goes to the next. Right after that, you go. You just it's just like a it's almost like schooling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like a
It's almost like,
graduation.
yeah, you're going to the next step, going to the next step, and it's always there's always room to grow and learn other things.
Yeah. And even like I recently made a video where a lot of people think that angels um, are restricted to certain cultures and certain religions. It's like no,
Mm,
like there's
no,
they
yeah,
recommend you to different pantheons of gods, and
they're involved in
some of
all of
them
it.
are even part of those pantheons.
Yeah.
And they will use whatever they need in order to teach you. So if you are let's say like if you're a Christian mystic,
Mm-hmm.
uh, or a Christian Gnostic, or part of an Abrahamic faith, but you're working the mystic side of it, that religion. Um, the angels will still point you to things like the Norse pantheon, or the Egyptian pantheon, things like that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the cultures that are considered pagan,
Mm-hmm.
because there are some entities that will better teach you certain concepts, and so that's all they care about.
Mm. Yeah, man. Definitely. I really think that they was involved with all the different religions, far as like around the earth itself, like the Yabro, and dealing with the Greek pantheons and stuff like that, and dealing with Haitian, the Haitian part, the evolution of them. It's just so much like catering to like different religions. I think it was there for them to like to step into the after the dark, they could step into the light to learn the wisdom. I think it's dealing with the language barrier. That's why they do it, because everybody language barrier is different, and everybody have different spiritual teachings that came down from different tribal cultures that was pushed down, and they had to learn it that way. And the culture was presented to them that way. So when the angels kind of like intervened with the culture, they was actually working with that culture to understand that different part of them alchemists.
Well, I mean, it's just like if you go far back enough into each culture, when it comes to religion, when it comes to spiritual beliefs, like you're going to find similarities. There's a lot of similarities all over the world when it comes to the gods of the different cultures.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what happened is when humanity split off and stopped being one big group in one big place,
Yep.
uh, the nature of those gods had to change according to the changes that those tribes were going through.
Mm-hmm.
And so they got a different understanding of certain. Yeah, so basically the I can't remember if it was gods or if it was angels explaining
It was the angels.
how when the gods were first around, they were
Mm-hmm.
more simplistic because human beings were more simple and they had simple needs. But as we started to evolve, um, the gods had to become more complex in order to
Mm-hmm.
keep up with us.
Yeah.
So um, that's how they ended up changing over the years. As we got more complex, they got more complex.
Mm-hmm. So what's the next big step for you after you work with the light? You know, are you going
Uh,
you going
I don't know
exoteric
because
after that?
I mean everything is like. Are you talking about esoteric or exoteric?
Exo.
Okay, so exoteric, for those who don't know, like works with the outside forces. Um,
Mm.
with
Exo
me,
and
with me, right now I'm working with Gnosticism.
Mhm.
There's a lot of angels and a lot to cover with Gnosticism itself. There's a
Yeah.
lot of different books where Gnosticism doesn't have one set of rules.
Mhm.
There are a lot of different flavors of Gnosticism, which are very interesting. So I'm going through some of those books and working through those books in order to kind of understand the different angles that are being taken from the Gnostic movement. There's a lot of different angels that are presenting themselves. So when it comes to light and darkness, that's just a spectrum. I've had angels approach me that come off as dark and angels that come off as light. Um, and it seems like they're just endless. So
Yep.
my journey in the light really doesn't seem like it's going to end anytime soon.
I already know, bro. Because you haven't even got to the vampiric yet. And the vampiric and there are different, like I was saying, there are different breeds of angels or
Right,
angelics, so to speak,
right,
because it's a a tree, a life that branches off to different hybrid different type of angelics. You know what I mean? Because some of them we not even some of them we probably never knew that was written in books. You know what I mean? It's, some of that stuff is not even in books. You have to pretty much meditate and pretty much work with different beings to link up with certain beings because you have to prove that you're worthy. If you don't prove that you're worthy, then
right,
they not gonna waste their time presenting something that they was trying to give you a key element to um upgrading you to the that existence of talking with that angel.
right. And yeah, there are angels that are very old that are part of forgotten civilizations and some that were just so feared that men didn't even mention their names, you know. And so sometimes they pop up in certain books, but sometimes they just have to come and present themselves to you. Um, and when if you want to talk about biblically, um, when it comes to the number of angels, well, they're considered stars. How many stars do we have in the sky?
A
You know what I'm
whole
saying? Like there's
constellation of it's a constellation,
yeah,
solar
I mean
system
like you
is
can
named after
go
him.
for multiple, well, not just constellations, but like there's
Stars.
millions of stars that we can just see if we look up at the sky in one spot. Like we don't really
Hmm.
know how many stars there are. So if the angels are compared to the stars, there's countless numbers of them. Like there's no way in one lifetime we're going to be done interacting with angels if we're trying to get to know everyone.
Exactly. That's the same way when you work kind of like working with dark, like the darker spirits. It's like the same thing. It take you so many years to even work with different ones and understanding this key element that one this one works with this one, different ranks and stuff like that. But it's the angelics is a little bit different. It's like military. Then you have to deal with the different breeds of angels. Um,
They're not all military. Like a lot
we
of them are military, but like not all of them. But it's just like they have their different way of processing things
Mhm.
that isn't human. Um,
That's why I say the emotions feel like computer, like what I mean, like
well,
AI.
they're very logical,
Hmm.
and a lot of people think that they don't have emotions because of the fact that they do come off as kind of computer like. But they do have emotions, and if you spend enough time with them, then you'll see. You're on mute right now, just to let you know.
Yeah, man. I spoke highly of you, man, about you to the governess, what she call herself, the Cornita. She worked with different universal councils,
Mm,
spirits, and she said she would love to have a talk with you. She have her own followers and everything. She actually conjured. Her energy is like different. It's real different because she actually could channel like the spirit and talk to him like right there. Like she have this ability. It's amazing. You know what I mean? She have a real like amazing ability.
mm. Yeah,
But it
I'll
take
talk to
years.
anybody. Like I don't mind having a conversation and
Mhm.
exchanging knowledge and information. That's what
Yeah,
it's all about.
definitely, man. Man, it's been a great show. Definitely, whatever you pick up on, like as far as like working with like the different angels, just let me know, man. We definitely have a big discussion about it. You know what I mean? Because I love hearing the information. I love to learn about these different angelics, and I just make a bookmark about it and document everything, how and what happened, and what I mean, different beings working with, what's the dislikes and what to do, what not to do, type of thing. So somebody else don't make the same mistake. Um, what I mean? Because people do make mistakes, and people call spirits for different dumb stuff, bro. And you got to be careful about saying dumb stuff. You know what I mean? Like I want a house tomorrow. You know what I mean? Or you know what I mean? Instead of them asking for healing and um, you know, work get to know them and work with them on a regularly, or even at your pace. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's not a rush
Mm,
race thing because it's the knowledge will actually make you go insane. It's just that much of knowledge out there, and the knowledge
right.
can knowledge can kill you, man. If you want to like knowledge can kill you if you want to learn fast. That's why you have to take your time with a pace as a student, as a person that's going through a university or social classes and study like different elements, key elements on how to work with different alchemists and alchemy. That certain tier of developing your expansion of your conscience.
Right.
So you got to be careful with, like, you know what I'm saying, like rushing into things you do not know how to handle, or what you conjuring up, because you can conjure up the wrong thing. It's gonna cost you your life, especially if you have the fear that's embedded in you. So you have to break away from that fear.
That's definitely a killer of magic. Fear is the number one killer. That and ignorance. Like if you do not do your research, sometimes it's good to go in there without doing research because it can put us in a negative mindset about certain spirits. But like for the most part, like it's always good to prepare with research. Always.
Humble, yeah. I think the humbleness will go a long way. If you humble yourself and treat them as if they was guests in your house, treat them as if they was a person that you um, try to know, get to know, like you try to get to know a friend. Like,
Hmm.
all us, like, we never, like, same way how we try to make friends with somebody else, it's the same way you have to be, like, have a mind fold, like, to learn a spirit. You have to treat them the same way, because that energy can treat you fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Real fucked up. You have to be very careful. You know what I mean? Be very careful and be very mindful, and have a, keep love in your heart and unity, and that can go a long ways. And don't be disrespectful at all. Yeah, definitely, bro. Go ahead and in this episode, I hope everybody enjoyed um the information that was presented. More to come, and this, Xero have the information. He have books. Um, he have knowledge. You can actually look him up on his channel, which is what is your channel? Uh,
So on YouTube,
Demon.
it's called Demonosophy and Beyond.
Yeah, definitely. You can actually follow him there as well, and he has books, far as like understanding the principles, and working with different spiritual guides, and um, different and angels and demons and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm pretty sure he got some custom magic in there too as well. Definitely, bro. Um, thank you, bro, for even coming on here. I'm gonna try to get us. I'm trying to get an episode with me, you, and the governess on one. That's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a very good one, because she could actually um channel the higher council spirit. So she her higher council is like working with Mother Adina. Yehuda is one of. He's a gatekeeper. Um, Papa, I'm trying to think. It's not leg. It wasn't Papa leg. He called himself something else. Papa something. But definitely I'm gonna try to give her a call, give her a ring, and try to set up one for like a good like night like this, like we got right now. So we can actually do one together, like all three of us. So she have good knowledge. I want to look. I just want to link. That's gonna be a powerful episode. I definitely want to look forward to that one. Definitely. But thank you, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go ahead and end the episode. This is Z Energy. This is Xero. Peace, peace. Stay grounded and love and light in your heart. Peace to the ancestors. And we out of here. Peace. Yo.
Take care.